So fun fact about Torri, whenever she has MSG in food, she gets nightmares, which I don't know if this is like scientific backing. I'm sure it does.
No, I'm pretty sure
but
this
you
is
die.
legit. You can also have allergic reactions, which I did last night to MSG. I had a ramen with MSG.
What was your allergic reaction?
Ran to bathroom. You saw me.
That's
I was
not
at
an
that
allergic
dinner.
reaction.
I was
That's
at a
just
media
you
dinner and
shitting
I
your
go,
pants.
I have to go. And I went to the bathroom.
She calls everything an allergic reaction, though. I don't know if that counts.
No, my mom literally said she's also allergic to MSG. So
allergic
yes.
or just intolerant.
Could be either. Let's roll the
The
intro.
Well, welcome back to Poddy Talk,
The podcast where we shit talk ourselves.
I'm Jac.
And I'm Tor.
And today we have a very exciting guest.
Woohoo! ALYSSA Whited is here. She is the global marketing director of Call It Spring. We love her. We love working with her.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited
Thanks
to have you on the
in.
pod.
Welcome.
Guys, long time coming.
Welcome to the
know.
studio.
We've been planning this for a while.
So we were starting by chatting off just about your ring because you are
we're
recently
gonna-
engaged. Because
Right
we've
off
just
the
been
bat.
staring at it, so we need to start with this.
Yes.
How did it happen? What was the story? Then we'll get
Okay.
into all the fun work stuff, but this is
Sure.
top of mind for
Yeah.
sure.
Sorry to my fiance Rishi in advance.
Putting him on blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll spill all the tea. So we got engaged in September in Italy.
Amazing.
That's a dream already.
yeah.
Yes, but background to that is we've been together 5.5 years. So I was getting to the point where I was like, okay, is this gonna happen or not?
Right.
Yeah.
And then you get to the point where when you've been together with someone so long, every vacation you go on, everyone's like,
Is this the one?
is this
So
it?
you gotta make sure your manicure is like on point every
Well,
time.
that's my thing all the time anyway.
Are you
so
a nail
it was-
person?
Nail person.
Okay,
yeah.
same.
Like religiously
Yes.
every 3 weeks, like
Yeah.
all the research.
Just
Shellac,
nail art is
acrylic,
beautiful.
Do you have
Gel.
any? Okay.
Yeah, gel. Nail art, like the whole 9
Yeah.
yards. Yeah, so every time we go on a vacation, everyone's like, oh my God, are you going to get engaged? And I'm like, I don't know. That's why engagements are surprising.
Right, right. I
I'm not
wasn't briefed
sure.
beforehand.
Yes, but I was like, okay, everything we would go to, I was like, is this going to be it? And I never thought it was. And then last year we were in Australia, and I was like, maybe this is the one
God.
time that possibly this could happen. And it did not.
Oh.
So
And then it's a bit of a letdown because you're like, oh, I thought maybe it would happen.
Yeah, you're just waking up like a little anxious every day, making sure your makeup's extra good, or like.
No, like
what?
I wasn't actually expecting it, but I
Okay.
thought if it was gonna happen, like maybe this might be one of the trips
Oh, okay.
Scenarios,
Fair enough.
yeah.
was gonna happen. So it didn't happen, and after that I was like, okay, like I'm gonna start putting in some not so subtle nudges.
Yeah.
A little shove.
It was a shove. I'm like, no BS about this. I was like, listen, Rishi, like,
This is
what-
the exact ring I want. This is the cut. This is the
Pretty
style.
much,
Yeah.
pretty much. And so then we were in Italy actually for another friend's wedding, and again, like he lied to me like freakishly well.
Oh no.
Which I guess is part of like the engagement process, but yeah, we went to Italy, and I really did not think it was gonna happen because he kept saying like, oh, we've been like saving so much money this year for different like life adult
Of course.
things.
Yeah.
And he just kept kind of saying it all of the time, where I thought, okay, he's trying to put me on to next year.
Yeah.
So we get to Italy, we have this great time, we're through all of the airport security. He is not missing a beat. He's not nervous, not putting like a do not disturb sign on the hotel rooms, people don't come in, like
Oh
nothing,
my
no hiding,
gosh.
nothing. So I'm like,
Oh.
That's even more alarming. You're like, oh, now it's for sure not happening.
no, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, because there's no way you're going to carry around a ring and not, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
So, so we're like in this really nice hotel and setting, and like I say this for context, I'm like, let me screw up this like very romantic
Yeah.
moment.
Okay.
And I was like, listen.
Oh my God. You're like the girl that, did you bring it up? Like, were you like,
Kind of.
oh my God.
Oh my God, wait, that's amazing.
That's Poddy
Which
talk.
I never thought would
You
be
would?
me,
Yeah.
But I was just getting to the point where I was like, okay.
I'm on
Time to
timeline.
take it, yeah.
I just like it's been almost 6 years, sir. Like,
Totally.
get this
Right.
moving. So I was like, listen, if we don't get engaged on this trip, like people are gonna come for you. But that was the truth. It wasn't even me. I was like, people.
Well, that's the thing. When all
Yeah.
your friends are asking, like it just
Yeah.
gets annoying. It's like
That's
speed
what
it up,
was.
buddy.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Don't ever ask people about their engagement.
Yeah.
Like if it's supposed to happen, it's gonna
It will
happen.
happen.
You will
True.
know. I
It
will
will
inform
happen.
you.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
So he was like, listen, like we renovated the kitchen this year and blah, 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 blah. Like what's another couple months? And I was like, you know what? You're right. Like
Oh
this is
my
about
God.
us. It's not about anybody else. And he was like, you know that we're in this, like, we're not going anywhere. What's another couple months? And I was like, you know what?
What is another couple of months?
That's it.
Yeah.
You got this.
That's it. And he talked me off the ledge, and I was just thinking, okay, I just need to chill out. Look where we are.
Yeah, like, let's have fun.
Let's have fun. So then we had a blast, and then we go on, he rents this boat, and I helped him plan it. So again, like, I didn't think anything of it.
You planned your own engagement.
I planned my own engagement, more or less.
So funny.
And, so we, like, go in this cave right before it's about to happen, and we're swimming, and there's, like, we look up, there's, like, this beautiful natural skylight.
Aww.
And then he goes, I'm going to swim under the cave. Mind you, we're both with, like, noodle floaties.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I don't think that you should swim under the cave. Like, homeboy on the boat would have told you, don't go under the cave.
Yeah.
And he was like,
Definitely
no,
on the boat.
it's totally cool. I'm going to swim under the... I was like, okay, you go ahead. You swim under the cave. I'm going to go around. So I go around and getting on the boat. He comes out, again, like, moments before this was about to happen. He's bleeding everywhere.
Wait, what?
He scraped his body against the cave because he was wearing the stupid noodle floaty, so it's buoyant.
And it's
pushed
pushing him up.
He's like,
So
can't
he's
help
like,
but get
"Wait,
dragged
what?"
by
under the cave. I swear to God.
Wait.
So he's bleeding.
That is terrifying. I have like water
You'd think
fears.
at this point he'd be like, I'm going to rethink this engagement right
I thought that
now.
maybe that was the
Yeah.
ploy for him to like, you know, like sneak away or something. But no, he actually wanted to go under the cave.
Oh, so that was literally
No,
just his
it's
own
just
adventure
like,
spirit
that's
putting
the
him
best
into
way
the
to put
cave.
it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
his adventure spirit. He wanted to go under this cave, and so he did. And he comes out, and he's bleeding like all over his hands
Jesus.
and his arms. And I was like, "What is wrong with you? I specifically told you don't go under this,
Yeah.
don't go under this cave."
Yeah.
And he's like, it's fine. And he's brushing it off, and I'm thinking, why are you brushing this off? You were bleeding.
Yeah,
all
this
over
is a
your
big
like, this is
deal.
not good.
Yeah.
yeah, and he's like, it's fine. And then he hands me like a sealed work envelope, and he was like, read this envelope. I know you thought that, you know, this moment probably would have been like a good time to get engaged, and I didn't want you to feel sad about the fact that like we're not. And I'm thinking like,
what?
buddy, salt in the wound. Like,
Yeah.
we talked about
Yeah.
this.
Sorry, it's not happening.
Yeah, just like way to throw it back in my
Here's your
face.
consolation prize.
Oh, God.
So I was like, no. So I hand it back to him. Again, it's also sealed with like his work like emblem.
And there's like blood dripping off of it at this point.
also that, yes, thank you.
That's so funny.
Jeez.
I was like, no. He's like, oh my God, let's just read it. So I'm
Yeah.
like, ugh, fine. You
Yeah.
know, like, all the eye roll. So I open it, and it's reason 10 through 2 of like moments in our relationship and why he loves me and all these things. And I'm reading it, and I'm still like, consolation prize, don't care. Like, you know what I mean?
Totally.
I'm still not cluing in. And then he goes, read it out loud. And I was like, why do you want me? And then I was starting thinking, are you trying to track me? And then he starts playing our song, and that's where I was like, oh
you're
my
like, oh
dear
my
Lord,
God,
this is happening. And then I just
started
you know when you're,
crying.
like, you know when you're reading things and nothing's registering?
Yeah.
Your eyes are just going back and forth.
Just like blacking out. pretty
Totally.
much. And then I flip the page and it says WYMM, and I'm like, what is WYMM? And I look up, and he's on one knee, and I was like, oh,
William
and then like
Still bloody?
Jaclyn's
been
still on the
addressed, or-
blood. That's so
Yeah,
funny.
he's still,
Wait, rugged love.
he wasn't like gushing blood.
Oh, okay.
But like, yeah, he definitely has some permanent scars.
Oh.
But
Crazy.
whatever, yeah. So
That's
then-
Whatever, you
Story.
got engaged, so it
then
doesn't
we got
matter.
engaged on the boat with his uninsured ring that was 2 sizes too big.
Oh
at
my
the time.
God.
Oh my God.
Cute.
Yeah, bold
Jeez.
move. I mean, it could have
Bold
gone
move.
overseas. Like,
Oh, he could have gone overseas. The boat was like.
wait, so where was he storing the ring when he was swimming?
Okay, great question.
Like, that makes me nervous as well.
So when he was swimming, it was in like a passport holder thing that you could put around your neck. But I found out that the whole trip he had it in like you know those small plastic baggies, like in a small plastic
Yeah.
baggie. This is really embarrassing. Inside his dirty underwear bag.
Oh my God, that's so funny. You're
It's
like, I'm not
actually
going
smart.
in there,
And he
so.
was like, no one would ever go in there, including you.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Wait,
no
that's
idea.
amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow,
Yeah.
this is incredible.
That's exciting
Thanks, guys.
and very cool.
Well, thanks for sharing a very intimate and personal moment of your life before we talked about anything work
Also,
related.
I knew before she did.
Did you?
You knew.
I knew. Which I died about because we had done
How'd you know?
we had done lunch.
Yeah.
And the last update I had gotten was you being like, "Oh my God, it has to happen this year." Da da da
Okay,
da.
don't make me sound crazy.
No, like in a good way. Like you're like, I hope it happens this year. Like I'm like ready.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to our mutual friends about it, and I like mentioned that, and I was like, oh my God, I really hope they get engaged. And I told a story about how just 2 weeks prior, I was in New York with this other girl I work with. Yes. And I'm sitting there at brunch with her, and she's like, yeah, like, similar story. We've been together 5 years. I'm really ready to get engaged. And literally the next day, I leave her in New York. She flies home to go meet him at a cottage, and he proposes.
Like, the very next day.
And so I mentioned this to our mutual friends, and then one of the guys of our mutual friends was like, yeah, like, it's happening, like, behind the scenes. Like,
I had no idea.
Yeah, so,
you knew.
yeah, I, like, knew. I was like, I'm so excited. They're like, obviously I would never say anything to anyone.
Imagine you were the leak. You were the one who spoiled it.
Could you imagine I'm the leak of all the people?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That's
No
so
way.
funny.
I would never be the leak, but yeah, I was stoked. I was like, oh my god.
That's
That
so
was
funny.
That was the world's best kept secret, because I found out after
That, like, a lot of
everyone-
people
A lot of your friends
knew.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
and so they were messaging me intentionally to throw me off, which
Oh.
was mean.
It's
I don't know
smart.
if I would like that. Like, all my friends know it.
You guys did that to me for my birthday too. Like, when people, like, my girls would text me and be like, "We'll
Okay,
have
a
such a
birthday's
fun
different
weekend."
from, like, an engagement, though.
And then I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'll have a fun weekend." And then they were like all there. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it's different.
Yeah,
for
I don't
sure.
want, like, everyone to... Oh, that's hard. It's hard.
right?
I feel like the friend involvement in engagements needs to, like, stop. Like, I think all friends need to just
agree.
get out of all the like all of the engagement stories need to, like, exit.
I agree.
Yeah.
I will never ask anybody ever again.
It's too much
about-
pressure.
It's so
Well, when
much
you're on the
pressure.
receiving end of it, like, you get it.
Yes. And when you've been together for, like, we started
long
dating when I was
time.
24.
Yeah.
So when you're together that young and you come up throughout the years, it's like everyone's, oh, it's 5 years or 5.5 years. But it's 5.5 years since I was 24. I'm not, like, 28, 29 meeting him.
Exactly.
Right.
And then it's, you know,
Well,
not
people
that it should
ask me
matter
that.
anyways,
Like,
to
they're
be
like,
honest.
why do you and Adam not live together? I'm like, because we met when I was 19.
Yeah.
Like, it's like I'm still growing as a human, and so is he. Like, we can't
You know what?
force.
This is a conversation.
Yeah.
Because I say this to people all of the time. Because I did the same thing. I lived
Yeah.
by myself. I was long distance with Rishi
Yeah.
for 3.5 of our 5-year relationship. And not to be like, as women, but honestly, as women, you have a very short window in your life where you can be the most selfish and
Totally.
do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And if you decide to have children, your priorities are going to shift from your career to your personal life. Everything changes.
100%.
So for me personally, I felt to not take that time to discover who I was is not ever going to benefit me in the long run or my partner.
Totally.
So take that time. And I found it so interesting that people would always put this pressure on me of like, oh, you guys don't live together. Oh, you know, you've been dating this long. When are you getting married? It was always, when are you having kids? Is like the new conversation coming up. And it was never, I shouldn't say it was never, but rarely was it, what are you doing in your career? How's your career going? How are you advancing? Like, there's so many things that I feel really proud of that I've done over the last how many years that
Why isn't that the
are
forefront of
equal
it?
to,
Yeah,
that
totally.
are things
Why is
that-
it like, are you pregnant yet? Where's your ring?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, that's not
it just goes to show like the priorities in society haven't shifted as much as we would like to think
Totally.
they have when it comes to females. And
Well, and I think it's something also, like, even if you are a strong-minded individual who knows what they want and feels confident with their own decisions, I think it's hard if you have a lot of external questions, whether it's, like, innocent enough from friends or pressures from whatever people are in your life, and whether it's the pressure of, oh, are you going to have kids? Are you going to move in? It's, like, something that you might have not even overthought on your own, but then when you're hearing it a million times a day, you go, oh, should I be thinking that way? Am I doing something wrong? Whereas you were never questioning it in the first place.
No.
So
Yeah.
it's so crazy.
It sets you
just
off.
the external pressures that
I
I feel
always
like
have to
inherently
remind
we
myself,
have.
I'm like, this is a choice that Adam and I don't
Yeah.
live together. I
Yes.
hate when people pressure me about it. I literally, my quote is, I didn't work this hard to share. And he accepts that. He's
Put
like,
that on a t-shirt.
I
Yeah.
know. It's like,
Yeah.
and he's
That's
like,
a good Poddy Talk t-shirt.
it is, and
It
it's like,
is.
and he
don't
agrees
work
with it. Like,
this
at least
hard
he's
to
the type
share.
of guy that can totally be like, yeah, girl, like, you've done your thing. Like, I don't need to step on that.
Yeah.
And I think some guys can't handle that,
They can't.
for sure.
They absolutely can't. It
Yeah.
takes a very special
Person.
person.
Yeah. So, anyways, back about
Sorry.
you. No, I know we've got on a full. No,
Shifting
so
gears into
you
more
have,
beginning of careers.
Yeah, like you have such an exciting job. Again, global marketing director of Call It Spring, Alda Group, massive company. You're a trailblazer in your own right, making like magic happen for this
I guess
brand.
we're the biggest hypocrites. We start off with the wedding questions, and now we go into career.
I know,
We're just the most, like-
but it was only because it
No,
was top
yeah,
of mind, or
totally.
else we would have
Also, I'm
naturally
going to bug
started
you.
with
Come
the
in
career.
just a little bit more. I think you're falling out of frame. There we go.
Come
We're
into the
friends.
YouTube
We
video.
are cozy. Love this.
So how did you get there? Well, I mean, I feel like I don't even maybe know the whole story. Like, what did you study in school? What got you then like into the fashion-y kind of marketing world? Like, Tell us the goods.
It was a total accident.
Is it really?
That's the
my
best.
God, a big accident. Yeah, that's why I always say to people, don't know what you like to do, but don't have a full out plan for your life because it's never going to happen that way. I thought full-heartedly I wanted to be a child psychologist.
Wow.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I went to school. I double majored in psych and soc, and it was really weird. I don't know if you guys even know what Wakestock is. Do you know what Wakestock is? It's aging me a bit. But Wakestock was this wakeboarding festival that was huge.
Wait,
and
that's iconic.
Oh yeah.
In Canada?
Yeah. They had it on the island.
Oh my God.
So I had just turned 19. I was finished my first year of university, and so I went with all of my friends to have a great party. And one of my friends' sister-in-law's friends came and met with us at a restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And she said, "Oh, I had just come from set. Sorry, I'm late." And I said, "Oh, what do you do?"
Yeah.
She goes, "Oh, I work in PR." And I said, "Well, what is PR?" So she told me about it, and I literally had this aha moment where I was like, this is what I'm going to do.
Wow.
So I went home and I said, "Mom, I'm changing all of my degrees around. I'm going to go into PR." She goes, "You don't know the first thing about PR. We've already paid for your first year of school. This is going to set you back, blah, blah, blah." I said, "I'm going to figure it out." So I dropped my soc to a minor, kept my psych because I felt like it would be applicable, and I picked up a comms degree, and then I just worked really hard during the school year, and then I interned during all of my summers so that I could make up additional credits and actually learn if this was something
make connections as well, real life experience.
Yeah, and make connections. And so when I was out of school, I was like, okay, I've interned 3 times over. I should be able to get a job right away.
Yeah.
Right.
Could not get a job right away.
Really?
Were you in Toronto at the time?
Yeah, well, I'm from Windsor, though.
Okay, Windsor, yeah.
Yeah, so, but I had interned in New York and D.C.
Okay.
Because I really just wanted to, if you're in Windsor, you can't really get that experience.
Sure.
Of course,
It's
yeah.
not the main industry.
Wait, where were you going to school?
Windsor.
Oh, you were in Windsor.
Windsor.
Okay.
Yeah, my parents were like, "We will cover everything, but if you go away, you're going to have to pay for your housing."
That's hard to resist.
I don't want student debt.
Yeah.
I work at Garage Clothing.
Yeah. Shout out Garage.
Shout out Garage.
Yeah.
I used to love me some Garage.
Garage got me through a lot. Like,
it was there, my lowest moment.
Emotionally,
My
physically.
it was.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's
Garage
funny.
Clothing. Yeah. So, anyway, so I did coming to Toronto. I didn't know left from right. I knew nobody here. So then I started interning for a startup PR agency at the time. I was their first employee.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was really interesting because I was the only one outside of the 2 owners. I just learned the ropes extremely quickly.
Yeah, you get thrown fully into the deep end, and you have to just sink or swim.
Big time sink or swim. But before I was even working as a full-time employee there, I was interning for free, which is not even a thing anymore.
Yeah.
But I was interning unpaid during the day and then going to Garage at night at the Eaton Center.
Yes. Ooh, I love me some Eaton Center retail. I was there.
So much
I was
Eaton
there.
Center life. Yeah, you were there
Oh,
too.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Lush.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I always wonder how people can stomach the...
Yeah, I was there for maybe about a year. This was my first job ever.
Okay.
And I think I smelt like it 24/7. Like, people could tell that I worked there. I'm like, I've been washing my clothes. How do you can't get it out of you, the smell.
Can't.
Yeah.
It's such a universal smell.
My mom never let me in to the
it's
store because
avoid,
of the smell.
avoid.
She would get really bad headaches from
I hear
different
that a lot.
scents.
Yeah.
So then when I was a kid and I'd say, "Can we go into Lush?" She'd be like, "Absolutely not." This
You
is
so
smell
funny.
it 10 feet away from
I know.
Yeah,
I
no,
know.
fully. When it's in a mall, you can follow your nose.
Totally.
Anyway, so
Yeah,
I know the
sorry.
Eaton Center life.
Yeah, Eaton Center life is
It's
real.
a joy.
It is. It's a love-hate situation in Eaton Center life. But yeah, long story short is I've met so many people in my career who have now been such a pivotal part of my career during that time period. And there's one person in particular, her name is Katie. She was working on the Maybelline accounts when I was at the company that I started at. And so she was the comms director for them, for Maybelline Garnier Essie. And she actually ended up moving over to Aldo Group as the comms director there. So I had gone to a few other agencies in between, but still staying in PR. And she called me one day and she was like, "Hey, we have this job that just opened up. I think it'd be a great fit." But I, at this point, was taking a hiatus in my life, which I laugh at now because I was 25, 26.
This is me. I'm going to be 25. I'm retired. Thank you.
Early retirement
I need,
schedule.
That was it. I was going to go to Asia for 4 months and just not.
Travel, discover yourself, peace out of the world.
It always happens when you don't want it to happen.
Yeah.
Exactly. Eat, pray, love. I had my plane ticket booked.
Oh,
everything.
no.
I had said to my job, I'd take it or leave it.
Yeah.
and they were really supportive, actually. They're like, yeah, go, come back,
wow.
which is amazing. And then, long story short is, I ended up getting hired at the Aldo Group, and they said, well, we need you to move here in like a week.
Oh my God.
I was like, what? A week? So I literally...
And interferes with my travel
also
schedule.
interferes with my travel, so I had to cut my trip short, but it was okay. It was crazier that I had to move in a week, so I threw my stuff in storage before my contract was even signed.
Jeez.
Moved to Montreal, like, sight unseen.
Oh my God.
Just, like, randomly found a condo.
And have you been to Montreal ever before, or, like, visited, or?
Like, for work and
Sure,
stuff
but
here
not,
and
like,
there,
properly.
No.
Like one Osheaga weekend in like 2005.
I know the city. I know the city.
Or, like, for, like, a random meeting. But
sure.
Then, like, and then, we, like... that ended up happening. I went to Asia for 5 weeks, came back, and I've been there ever since. So
wow.
I slowly
and how long ago was that?
That was 2016, so almost 4 years
That's
ago.
crazy.
Yeah, so I started in PR there, and then it was a time where the PR industry was starting to really evolve with the content creation scene.
Totally.
Yeah.
And the social media scene, and the worlds were blending together in a way that hadn't been done before.
Yeah.
So it was a really unique time for me to be in that space, because a lot of people in the industry, especially on the PR side, they hadn't even touched social. They're like, what is this?
Right.
So I had the opportunity to take on social as well, and brought the two worlds together, and through that was able to just really think outside the box. Being on Call It Spring was such a cool, is still, I like have this weird unbiased like passion for this brand, because I think it's rare for you to be able to come into a global company that's so established and work on a brand that you can have so much direct and immediate impact on.
Yes.
There's so much that we can change. It's almost like working with like a startup brand, I guess,
Yeah.
in a sense. And that's what I've always really loved about the brand. It's why I moved to Montreal, was to work on this and be able to create immediate change. And that is exactly what happened. So I was able to just put my head down, work really hard, and think so outside the box that it ended up getting noticed. And they said,
that's awesome.
Everything's evolving right now in the industry. Nothing is inside of this box of what was marketing even 4 years ago.
Totally.
Is not what marketing is now. Even 6 months ago, everything shifted.
I even feel like the way that consumers engage with products and the way that they get feedback gets so different, because they're commenting on every post, and if they don't like it, they will immediately let you know as soon as you
they
do
will
like
tell
a
you.
pre-launch
They
photo.
will tell you.
Yeah.
But it's also interesting, because I think it, in some ways, of course, it's a double-edged sword, and I think it can, be negative and be sometimes just a loud voice you don't need to be hearing, but also it can influence, I feel like, decisions in a positive way, and especially something with Call It Spring that's been so noticeable for me and has made me fall in love with the brand, is that they have taken the whole sustainable and all vegan product route, and that is like, I feel like very rare in a very corporate and established company like Call It Spring.
Well, that's the thing. It's not like it was born as
Yeah.
all vegan. So the
It's not
fact
like
that you
a
guys had to
Nat
move backwards
totally.
and say, how do we now put forward a fully
and keep up with the
vegan
times
line?
and
Exactly.
cater to this huge audience that is demanding this.
Demanding.
Totally.
Yeah, what was that like for you guys?
It was such, it's still, I think it's going to be one of the biggest career highlights that I'll
Yeah.
have, because to, like you said, to be able to be part of this brand that was already established as its own
Right.
identity, and then flip it on its head
Yeah.
has been, for everyone across the board, a massive learning. I don't care what department you're in.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's really telling of the consumer landscape right now. Like you said, they are demanding and expecting this. So if you are not going to rise to their expectations,
They'll go to the
like,
next door.
you're out of luck.
Yeah.
But also for your own core values as a brand, look at what's happening around. Like, it would be so bad on us to say that we aren't noticing what's happening.
Right.
And if we have the power to make a change, like, let's do it.
Right.
And that's really what came down to that conversation of going vegan. And
Wow.
we had the ability to do it. So we went 100% vegan, and now it's that next step of, we can't just say we're this and not look at the bigger picture.
Totally.
What does that mean from a sustainability standpoint? What does that mean for our practices in stores? Like, we got rid of disposable bags. We're carbon neutral. There's all of these different initiatives that we're doing so that it's not this one-dimensional consumer ploy. Like,
Or it's just not a marketing scheme. Hey,
It's
we're
not.
ethical, we're
Yes.
sustainable, and then they send a PR kit and it's full of plastic.
That's it.
I noticed you guys sent your PR, a new pair of shoes, like a little PR kit the other day, and even the card that it was written on was like a seed
paper.
Yes, seed paper.
Yeah.
And it's those things that makes it noticeable to me as a consumer and to as someone who works in this industry. Like those things stand out, and I'm someone who's very like into the whole environmental sustainability, like activism, all that stuff. It's so important to me,
Yeah.
and I feel like it's so frustrating when you see companies that oh yeah, we do this, and they have whatever, their one vegan product or their one cruelty-free this, but then in all their other practices, they don't reflect that those values are important to them, but you guys do. What did that conversation look like when you guys started to transition or even begin to think that vegan and sustainable products was the route that you guys wanted to go? How did that kind of come to fruition?
So in full transparency, like coming from a PR background, the first thought in my mind was like, we need to get to every single layer of this and make sure we come correct. Because I've worked in the media landscape, and journalists, I mean, that's their job. They're gonna dig. And
you're gonna find that one thing and be like, well, the glue was made here, and that's got whatever.
The glue is like a big conversation. Like it's down to that level.
Totally.
And so we all agreed that it made sense, but it was okay. We cannot look at this as a one-off conversation. So it's really been about changing our entire structure of how we function within the team. We went out thinking, okay, we might get a lot of negative feedback. Like, we don't know how people are going to take this because we are not a brand that is originally like
rooted in
vegan.
Right. But to argue that you are rooted in like charitable, sort of like, you know, inclusivity. Like, you guys have always been the brand that's like me to we, and like doing these like wonder. There was always activation around good, putting good in the world. So I feel like
it wasn't too far left field for us, but it was just such a big move that and people are very rightfully so very passionate about if they're living a vegan lifestyle or shopping a vegan lifestyle.
It's a very loud community that can be very hot or cold.
They know their stuff. You know what I mean? And so we didn't want to be this brand saying, oh, we're vegan and not know our stuff. Or on the other side, for consumers who, and this is what I actually really appreciate about our approach, is whether you're vegan or not, or you, to be honest, you recycle or not, to be able to make just a good choice, because you're going to shop the shoe anyways. No one is going to say, oh, I really wish that there were animal byproducts in my shoe, right?
Oh, I really wish this had a bigger carbon footprint. Like, who's going to say that?
No one's going to say that. So whether you're vegan or not, it's just this, it's one step towards making a good choice for the larger environment. And I love that our approach is not alienating in any sense, because
anyone can shop it. It's very inclusive.
Can shop it. If you like a burger, you can still have a vegan shoe, because that is a good choice to make for the, you know what I mean, for the larger picture.
It's so interesting because I always feel like, speaking about like environmental sustainability and all of that, like it's a conversation that I feel like we've been hearing for so long. And of course, that's something important inherently to all of us. We all need to survive and live on this planet. And of course, we all inherently care about it. But then it's like, okay, what can I really be doing that's going to change that? And something that I've always felt, I mean, very responsible as just like an individual living in this world. But I've always been like, okay, like, well, I can only do so much. It needs to come from bigger change makers. It needs to come from big CEOs, from big companies who have the resources and the budget to actually make such a large and impact, and such a big impact on such a grand scale. And when you're working with a company like the Aldo Group, this has such a huge reach, and the fact that you were able to be a part of that pivotal shift is just so exciting. And it really just is so, I don't know, I think it's really exciting to live in 2019 where you get to see all these amazing shifts happening, and then you're going to look back in 10 years and be like, oh, that was that time. That was that crazy moment that really changed it all.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Honestly, the team is incredible. For them to be able to take on this project and turn it around in the time they have is nuts. So it's exciting because we have a bunch of more things coming up, which I can't fully speak to yet.
Can you share it right here?
Exciting stuff.
Here's your first press release.
Maybe we can talk about me coming back.
Yes, doing the update.
The big announcement.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff that's going on with that brand.
That's exciting.
What does the timeline look like from ideation to actually hitting stores with like the whole vegan collection and the sustainable line?
So vegan is just ongoing. Our entire collection is 100%. So that standard has been put in place. And that's just evergreen
how
now.
it is,
That's just how it is. Sustainability is a bit different because there's always new innovative materials that are coming up which can impact the timeline. So right now we're working with something called Bloom, which is a really cool company. They harvest algae biomass from, sound like this weird nerdy, but
I'm like, I don't know what that means, but I'll keep.
Algae blooms. Algae grows at a rapid amount in lakes and rivers, and it suffocates the marine life there. So there's this really cool company called Bloom, and they harvest the algae and they turn it into pellets, and then the pellets can be broken down into like a foam.
Oh my God.
That goes into your shoes.
Whoa.
But it the output is that it recycles all of it. It creates a freshwater environment.
Yeah, it's helping the ecosystem.
The ecosystem.
Right.
So they're a company that we work with, and we have Bloom insoles in our shoes, and then there's other things.
So that adds like cushion and support in the shoe.
That's the cushion and support in the shoe.
Cool.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
So these heels right now, they must have some
We're
algae
wearing
in the
Call
bottom.
It Spring if you're watching the YouTube version.
It was so funny.
Your
Actually,
boots are awesome. I haven't seen that color.
Total side note, we were on the 10-minute talk show, and this one amazing activist was on talking about sustainability and all about like, well, veganism and all that stuff. And then we go on, and I was wearing these shoes, and they're like, oh, now you're wearing snakeskin boots. I was like, oh, no. These are vegan snakeskin. Do not be alarmed.
Yes.
Wow, are these the same boots too?
These
Just
are
in
called
black?
Spring. No, these are slightly different.
Oh, okay. Are those the over the knee or just below? Oh, just below.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Wow.
love
They're
those
a
ones.
bit
Look at her, the
slouchy and then
pointy.
they
Yeah.
go up.
And those are the pointy toe, like,
Yeah.
Oh, those are epic.
gorgeous. Guys,
Wow,
go
this
on
is a
YouTube
great-
and swipe
Yeah, we
up.
will link the shoes
Swipe
down below.
up.
These
The
are
shoes will be linked.
so stunning. Wow. So how does it work with you guys sourcing those different companies, like working with Bloom, and like how do you even find them?
So we have a really dedicated corporate social responsibility team
Wow.
and a dedicated product development manager who is focused solely on our sustainability efforts.
Cool.
So
interesting.
she goes and works with the suppliers almost monthly and makes sure that everything is on track. She's researching new materials. They are the ones who were PETA certified. So
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah. So they forge those relationships with PETA along with
Cool.
our team, and so it's fully stocked.
Where does
Wow.
production actually happen for all the shoes? Is it
It's
in Canada or no?
No, it's not. It's overseas.
Okay.
And it depends on
Which
The shoe.
Yeah, and different materials.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah.
It really is such a pivotal move as well because it's not only like a vegan whatever shoe. Like I've seen some vegan shoes out there. Like there are some not cute ones. There wasn't a lot in the space before.
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh no, these are cool shoes. They're
Well, it's still
fashionable. They're stylish.
fashion. Yeah.
Like you don't
Yeah.
need one or the other, sustainable or ethical, and then cool. Like
Were
they
you
can be
reading our
merged.
marketing kit? That's exactly.
No,
our-
but you're welcome if I just
Yeah, you
that
did.
was all the
Key
key
messaging.
messaging.
That was
Hit it.
key messaging. Yeah,
Oh,
good
that's
job.
great.
Wow.
We didn't want our customers to have to compromise.
Yeah.
Like we are known for having footwear for all different occasions.
Mm-hmm.
Again, unbiasedly, I think cute footwear
Totally.
at a great price point. Most of our sales are under $109. So to be able to layer in vegan and sustainable in that, like
Yeah.
Wild.
that's
And not mark it
amazing.
up to $900.
And not mark
Yeah.
it up and not have we really do not want our customer to ever have to compromise, and that was the thing when we went into designing the footwear. It was, how do we make this not look sustainable?
Sure.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you still might want a really cute knee-high boot or
Totally.
a shoe to go to prom or whatever it is,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? But you still want to feel
Well,
good about
it was the
what
same
you're
kind of, I feel like, in the makeup space too. Like, I feel like a few years ago, I was really trying to like get into more vegan makeup and like have a 100% cruelty-free collection, which I'm still working on. I'm like the worst at that, but trying to do better. But at the time, like I would say in like 2015, I was like starting as a makeup artist. I wanted to have this like super ethical kit, and then I was going on set, and these weren't the standard of products that they were using, and they wouldn't last all day. They weren't made for photography. They wouldn't
Yeah,
photograph
especially in
right.
2015.
So I felt
Yeah.
like I had to make a choice. Okay, am I going to be using like natural, vegan, healthy products and whatever, or am I going to be using the standard that is in my industry that maybe isn't very ethical or maybe is not cruelty-free or XYZ?
Yeah.
And it always felt like I had to make the choice, whereas now I feel like there is, that merge of that, so it's super exciting to see that in the fashion space as well. It's just
Yeah.
very telling of where we are in the world.
It really is. Yeah, it's exciting that consumers have the choice, you know?
So obviously being a part of the whole vegan launch was like a super pivotal moment and exciting highlight in your career. Do you have any other standout moments that you look back, you're like, I did that. That was cool. Like what's on your like personal red carpet of successes?
Honestly, if I can say, all of it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I said earlier, I come from Windsor. It's a small blue-collar town. What I wanted to do, a lot of people weren't exploring. So
Sure.
I was kind of set on my own path with not much direction and just kind of had to jump in the deep end and figure it out. And there were so many moments of like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
Or coming to this city where it's way more expensive. Like,
Of course.
man, I lived off of like Frank's Red Hot and rice for a
Yeah.
couple of years because I was
Yeah.
so passionate about what I wanted to do, and to go from that to being in a position where I am now
Yeah.
in, like in the time frame that I've
Well,
that
it's
I've
just a
been able
short
to do
span, really.
It has. It's honestly, it's exceeded my expectations, and I recently just had to take a moment and sit back and say, like, okay, you know,
I'm proud of myself.
I'm proud of myself.
Yeah.
And I think we all need to do that because we're all in this race of like, okay, it's like a game. Like, what's the next thing? What's the next level? What's the next level?
Well, we were talking about this just last night at dinner. We were saying when the types of lifestyles we have in the industries that we're in, they're so fast paced, and what you do in a week could be someone's highlight reel for, you know, a full year.
Honestly.
And that's just 1 week in your life because everything is so busy, your schedule is insane, and you don't often take a moment to just sit back and have a breath, and something we talk about all the time.
Yeah, and you kind of take it
The
for
standard
granted.
just continually gets higher.
It does. And when you're in your own bubble of people who are doing the same thing, it's so easy to compare yourself to other people and
totally.
say, I'm still not doing enough. I'm not making enough money. I'm not wearing clothes. I'm not,
It's so toxic.
It's so toxic. But then when you pop out of that bubble and you kind of just take a step back to reflect, it's like, oh, actually, I did some
I'm
bad
killing
Yeah, I can pat
it.
myself on the back.
Yes.
Yeah, give yourself a pat
Totally.
on the back. And that, I recently had to learn that for myself. And I'll tell you, because when I got this job, I had this checklist. Like, I was a maniac. I was just on this, like, I was tunnel vision for success. And actually, someone asked me, what does success mean to you? And I felt that was a really interesting question because I couldn't answer it.
Can you answer it now?
Not fully, to be honest with you. And that's something that I'm definitely working on because I just had this idea of, okay, I want to check all of these boxes on my list, but I didn't take that step back. And with every box that was checked, it didn't necessarily make me happier because I was always like, okay, what's on to the next thing? And I wanted to get this job before I was 20. Like, I wanted to be director before I was 29. That was one of my goals.
Right.
And I accomplished that. And then when I got it, I remember I sat in my office, and it was like the office I had dreamed of and like this position I had dreamed of. And not to say I'm not, like, I absolutely love my job.
Yeah.
But I had this moment of, I thought that it would feel different.
Yeah, you're like, is this it? Okay, I
Yes.
guess this is it. Yeah.
I thought that, I don't know if I thought like angels were going to come from the sky.
Yeah,
like, have, like,
fireworks.
Confetti was
and-
getting shot in the office. And,
and it didn't happen. And that was such a key moment for me in my career because I had to say to myself, it doesn't matter what you do. Like, you're never going to be happy if you don't take a step back.
Yeah.
Do you know? So.
How has it been, and it's different because PR, unlike certain industries, is very female driven, but has there been experiences for you, I mean, even sometimes if I'm in like a more corporate-y setting or I'm in meetings where, you know, it's not just the women of PR, like we've talked about this sort of like gender divide and especially the like 2019 world, like have you dealt with any of that, or even like things like diversity, like has there been any sort of moments in your career where you're like, oh wow, like I've been mistreated, or like, oh wow, this is like shocking?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I am fortunate to work at a company that has been so incredible in so many different ways, and I work with a very diverse group of people in all facets. For me, I am very aware of the fact that I am a woman and B, a woman of color. And when I do walk into the room, usually I am the only woman of color in the room.
Wow.
And so I have always used that as an opportunity to empower and educate. I think that, and this might be like controversial to say, but I think that there are things that I can say that others can't that will push the needle in a positive direction when it comes to who we cast in our campaigns. I can push that through because I'm coming from that point of view.
Totally.
And that's something that I have really enjoyed as part of my role right now because I can make that change. And so instead of looking at the scenario as like, I'm a minority 2 times over, it's saying, how do I use this to
empower others?
And so I really love the position that I am in. I love that I can use it as a weapon for good, and I love that I'm in a company that acknowledges that and allows me to be everything
as
that
bold
I
as
want
you can
to
be.
It's like they are like push the envelope, and that's I love to push the envelope. Like I am such a disruptor. Because I just think that there's so much that you miss when you stay inside the box, and it's like kind of my mantra for my personal life and my professional life. Like, what is the white space? Find your white space. So yeah, at the Aldo Group, they've been really amazing about that. I mean, even the fact that they're supporting, you know, me commuting in and out of the office, because I had said to them, like, my personal life is in Toronto. I've been in Montreal for a really long time. I'm getting to that next stage in my life where I need to start making decisions. It can't just be all about work, which has been like the better part of my life. And they were really amazing. They said, listen, I hear you. It's 2019. We want you to be happy. How do we support you?
Wow.
Oh, that's so interesting.
And that's so rare.
Yeah.
I know, like, your answer right now, I think maybe so many people wouldn't be, like, you're in, like, the best case scenario.
No, well, to have a company
sure.
that supports, like, mental health and well-being is
Yeah.
unfortunately kind of unheard of.
I know.
Totally.
Yeah. No, it's a really great, and like I know I keep saying unbiasedly because it sounds like some sort of like company.
Yeah, someone's got like a knife behind you. They're like, speak good about us.
Let's be honest, like a lot of our age demo is like women between the ages of 18 and 25, and if they're sitting here being like, wow, never considered working in PR, never considered working for a corporate company like that, knowing that this is your experience, I mean, it's like amazing.
Or being able to grow from an industry like PR,
totally,
which is one strain into overseeing the entire
brand,
which includes the marketing, like the brand development side, social
strategy,
media, PR, strategy from a global perspective. To be able to do that at a company where on paper I might not have had the skill set, but they looked at experience and what I was doing, it is so rare. And so I do always take a moment to kind of acknowledge that, because more companies should be like that. They should look at this as an example. And you know, women in the industry coming up, like that's the question I always get is like, how did you get to where you are? And I think it's also just having a standard for yourself and not being afraid to speak up. And like, I probably speak up too much, but
this is Poddy talk. I want to hear these stories.
No, but you have to. Like, you can't be afraid to go head to head, because what's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to tell you no. The worst that's going to happen is if you don't say something, you're going to be in a predicament that you hate. That's the worst that's going to happen. Not if you get in this confrontational situation, you know, professionally.
Right.
Of course.
You know.
Well, you've got to be in the driver's seat of your own life, and there has to be those times when you have to make that tough call of, okay, is this worth it now, where this is where I speak up and this is where I stand my ground, and it's making those decisions.
That's exactly
I'm curious, do you have a moment that sticks out that you feel comfortable sharing that happened in your professional life where you're like, okay, this is a pivotal moment where I need to stand my ground, or that you just felt like if it didn't happen, things would have went awry?
There's been a few instances, and they've all been solved. I think, like, for me, if I talk about my work life intertwining with my personal life, it was that move scenario, because I was ready to say, okay, is this an opportunity that... It was really hard for me, actually, because I loved this job, and I was in this position where genuinely I go into work every day and I'm like, cool. This
Smile on your face,
Yeah, you feel really inspired to be there and work with like the cool team that I have. But then on the other side, it was, how long am I going to keep doing this? And I had this moment, I guess I keep talking about these aha moments, they happen a lot, but where I was like, am I going to get to this point of my career where I'm really happy on that side, but I completely screwed up my personal life. And I was going to do that because I was focusing so much on one side of my life because of this, like, what does success
tunnel
mean?
vision.
Hustle, grind every day.
Yeah. Let me work the crazy hours, not because anyone asked me to, because I felt like I needed to.
Totally.
You know? And so that moment for me of like having to say to them,
I need to make both work. I'm going to choose one or the other, and something will happen.
Honestly, and that's what I said. I was like, I need to make a decision, and if you're asking me at this stage of my life which one I choose, if I have to choose at all, I choose my personal life. And I'm very fortunate to have a direct report. My VP, she's a woman as well, and she has a daughter. She's a mom. She's gone through the same thing, and so I think that was really helpful in the conversation, because she was like, "Girl, I get you." Really, those were her words. She's like, "We're gonna figure this out."
At the time, was there a lot of other people in similar positions doing that?
No one's doing that.
Okay, so you were like the first trailblazer to be like, "This needs to happen. I need to find the balance between both locations."
I actually said to them, like, let me be your guinea pig.
That's good.
Let me be your guinea pig, because they already are doing so much with female like empowerment, and they're part of different groups and all these different initiatives. But I was saying, how else do you walk the walk, you know?
Yeah, like actually support a woman.
Don't
and
put a poster up on your wall.
Let's support her personal life as well as her career,
internally,
and see
you
what
need to
happens.
also reflect those messages.
Totally.
But also, you're then bringing your best self to work every day, because you're thinking, now this company is full-heartedly supporting me. They're supporting my personal life. They're supporting my career. Why would I not put 110% into my job?
All those tech companies in California, they have such a crazy work-life balance.
If I was napping 2 times a day, I'd be doing great work
because they know that the most innovative innovative ideas and these geniuses that are making all basically the pivotal moves in the tech industry, they need to be performing at their best and in their best mental state to be performing at any certain level that needs to be required at Apple or whatever these companies are, or Tesla or whatever. So there are so many initiatives on well-being and that work-life balance that clearly they have seen success in those industries, so why is it not bleeding over into all of the other
Well, and in the corporate
workplaces?
world, I mean, it's unique too in your scenario because the corporate world, like it is more of a corporate scenario. However, it's a big issue, I would say, in like local PR practices, is the topic of turnover. Everyone is quitting every like 6 months, and it's like something that we deal with a lot with our own clients because one person's in the door and then 6 months later it's another person emailing you and you're thinking, oh my God, like no one is staying in these jobs. So
do you think that is good or bad?
Horrible. There's no retention. There's no talent retention anywhere. And what that also creates is a lack of loyalty. So
but do you think that the people are prioritizing their personal life to the companies? Like, I don't know where I
feel like
I don't know if it's good or bad.
I think they just have standards now.
Yeah.
They see that
there's a
other
certain
companies,
standard.
like the tech companies, et cetera, are doing X, Y, Z, and they're thinking, well, why can't that be for me too?
Right.
Sure.
There's still this very archaic way of doing things within the corporate world that not all companies have caught on to yet. And so I think, like, is that it's kind of like
I completely agree. Yeah, and I think it's about companies like Alder Group taking those big steps to say, okay, we're going to support our talent. Because if we're trying to keep amazing talent like ALYSSA, how do we make that happen? And I don't think that a lot of smaller boutique or local kind of companies, at least in Toronto, are doing that yet. And I think that's why the talent retention is so tough.
Totally.
And also it's the millennial spirit of like we think we deserve better than we do. So you know what I mean? It's
well,
like
it's
coupled with like two different things. It's like
people
when
they
want
see an
things a lot
ALYSSA,
faster.
totally.
We want things faster.
Totally.
They do.
You know, it's like this I was at this dinner quite recently with Samantha Berry, who's the editor-in-chief of Glamour in New York City. And she was talking about how she'll have employees sit down with her 3 months into their being there, and they'll say, okay, I need a raise now. Yeah. And she's like, are you literally insane? Like, she's like, I would work at, like, on air in, like, the media world when I was, like, an intern, and I'd be there till 2 a.m. and not complain. And she's like, I've had interns, like, truly, like, call a labor board because I keep them past 5 p.m. And I'm like, that, to me, like, there's such a line. Like,
there is a fine line.
I believe in, like, the hustle and working hard and, like, but I also believe in being treated well and, like, being met halfway. But
I also believe in people having their lunch breaks and not being taken advantage of. So it is, like, a weird...
I
but
know, but I'm more the other way. I would say I lean more on the side of, like, I'd rather work hard and grind it out and maybe not be treated... Like, I will put myself in the scenario where maybe I would miss lunch, but it would be my own fault. Like, I would work
by
through
your
lunch.
call.
By my call.
Totally.
But I think most of, like, the younger generation expect, like, a certain level of flexibility that's not necessarily real life.
Yeah, it's a really fine line.
Yeah.
I do agree that there should be a level of flexibility. I always say to my team, they always ask, what are the hours? I say, if you're a morning person, come in
Work
early.
in the morning, yeah.
If you're a night person, feel free to stay late. If you want to come in late because you're going to work late, that's cool. For me, as long as you get the job done, I don't really care. If you want to work from home a few days, you want to work remotely a few days, like, girl, go for it.
Right.
I don't really care. But there is also... I don't know if it's even generational. I don't know if that's fair to say. I just think there just are people with an expectation that I can get to point A to Z like this.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's more individualized.
Yeah, and they said, I had someone say to me, like, my expectations are, and I said, and she didn't realize she was saying it, but I said, let me stop you right there. One thing that you should never say is, my expectations are at this point, because, and they were like in relation to something like, but I said, in order for you to get to step 2, I have to know that you can do step 1 really well.
Sure.
Yeah.
And also, it doesn't matter what point of your career you're going to be in. You're still probably going to schlep. Like, don't ever be afraid to roll up your sleeves. I don't care if you're.
Well, that's the thing. I think it's more of an ego thing, maybe, than like a generational thing. It's like an individualized. Well, I see so and so's doing this. I should have this and that.
Maybe I think it's generational because I just went through university and I'm surrounded by like 20-year-olds that want things handed to them. So it could be my own bias. Like, it could be just that I was around so much of that idea that people just thought they'd get that job right out of school or get that raise right away.
It's almost, it's like, almost like cultural, or like it's like a societal expectation.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. It's just like people think that things are going to come super
Maybe
easy.
it's like the social media era, because we think
Yeah.
things are so instantaneous.
Totally.
I experienced this before, so like before Instagram was a thing.
Right.
Sure, again, aging myself, but when Facebook was the only thing and like the creator world wasn't really up and coming yet, you would still have people come in and say like, I don't pack boxes, I don't do this.
Yeah, so maybe you're right. Maybe it's just forever the ego.
Yeah, there's
like
just like a
people-
group. It's just a type of people, like a type of person.
It's
like
just the ego is always there.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Interesting.
Now, obviously, we are Poddy Talk. We love to hear. I mean, I guess we kind of already dove into some of the low moments, but do you have a moment, whether it's personal, professional?
we call it the shit moment.
Yeah,
Like,
you're like,
oh no,
this could be the end.
this
was a
is
low.
the end for me.
Oh,
So we can't talk about all the amazing highlights.
Yeah.
That's not
No, I
relatable.
know.
We've all had the.
honestly, also now, like as cool as this experience has been over the last few years in this role,
Being
Being
here on the
here
podcast.
is the
That's my low light.
this is the worst moment
Yeah.
of my life.
It's like, geez, okay.
This is
You
it.
can leave now.
Yeah.
No, like this role,
This time.
in my life, I think, because I am just transitioning in so many different ways, and I think like it's really cool to say, okay, like this company gave me this opportunity,
Sure.
and blah 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 blah. But also, I don't have that maybe more conventional background that other people in my role would have.
Sure.
And I'd be lying to say that that doesn't cause a level of insecurity, like for sure.
It's the imposter syndrome we always talk about. It's like, do I know what I'm doing? Am I just going to fake
All
this?
the time.
Yeah, my
so
life.
So much imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know I think if something would have blown up because I was that crappy at my job, it would
No.
have happened.
Yeah.
For sure. You clearly know what you're doing.
No, but day to day, I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, am I okay? Do I know how to do this right?
Right.
Do I? And I don't know if that ever leaves you. I think there's
Everyone says that that's just forever.
Yeah,
We are
that's
continually questioning ourselves,
really
no matter how
unfortunate.
qualified or unqualified we
Well,
are.
even in our industry, like we always laugh because there literally are no standards. Like I can't look up. I mean, Kim Kardashian is my greatest inspiration. She's like the original influencer.
Yeah.
Really, actually, Paris Hilton, who I was with over the weekend, and I was like, "You are the original."
flex,
But it's like
Yeah.
these are subtle flex
with Paris last weekend.
No, but like I feel like those are the people that really created what it means to be a brand as a person and like created that original like influencer vibe. But there is really no standard. And so like from your perspective where you're like, oh, maybe I don't have that traditional like training or that traditional background, we're like, well, this is it. Like we're just doing it and like, you know,
You're
balls
creating
to the
the
walls,
roadmap.
creating the roadmap and like so we're all in the same boat.
I know.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it easy, especially when you have a team too.
Yeah, because then
You
you're
know,
leading.
You're
yeah.
leading, and so you have these moments of like, what the hell is going on?
And you don't
like,
want to
you
be
have
the
solve
one.
it.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. We have an off day. It's like, okay, whatever. Like no one else has to see that issue. You've got a whole company under you that
Yeah.
has to like deal with that.
Yeah, when
Totally.
I first started this role, at first I was like, okay, this is my thing. Like,
Yeah.
I dive in head first, out of the
Yeah.
box, blah, 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 blah. And so I worked like an insane amount just so I could almost make up for what I thought I wasn't.
Right.
Interesting. Like
And
you thought you had to overperform or like
Yes.
prove that you.
Yes, I had to overcompensate. I know that there were probably naysayers and they were
Sure.
like, or people that I had worked with as peers, and now I'm in this new position where I'm their direct report. And some people weren't comfortable with that.
Oh
And
my gosh.
yeah, it was a big move. Or like my age was another conversation. You know, like
That's so
she's
annoying.
you know she's 29. Is she ready for this? Is she blah 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 blah? Right. So all of these things they get in your head.
Yeah.
And they're boosting what you're already thinking about.
Sure.
Exactly.
Because you're like, oh my god, when are they gonna catch me?
Totally,
You know? Like,
yeah.
When are they gonna find out?
Tyra Banks, fake it till you make it. OG.
Yeah.
Yes. And I hate that because I'm like, no, I actually want to make it. I don't want to
Totally.
make it all this time.
Yeah.
So I would overcompensate to show, you know, like I am doing everything that you thought that I was going to do in more.
Right.
And I'm going to do this and this and this. And I
Crashed.
holy smokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Burnout. It
Yeah.
happens.
Oh,
yeah.
Rishi had to have like my friend said had to have an intervention with me. We were
Yeah.
in the car.
Wow.
And well, actually, because I was driving to the office one time on a Sunday, and
Oh, man.
I just had a panic attack. Like I couldn't feel my extremities, like nothing.
Oh my god.
I had to pull over on the side of the highway,
Oh my
and I
God.
called him, and he was like, "This is crazy," you know.
Right.
So I got.
It's Sunday. Go have brunch. Have
Yeah.
a cocktail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we got back, because it spills over into your personal
Oh,
life.
of course. How can it not?
Always.
Your friends, your family. I was not talking to my friends. I was not. I was just like tunnel
Yeah.
vision. And burnout is real, and that is what happened. And it was like it was my own expectations that were pushing me to the brink of like insanity.
We're our own worst enemies. There's no doubt. Like no one else is like push. Like not even my parents push me as hard. Like no one will. Like
no one will do that.
It's up to you. Yeah.
And so I have. It's still like a work in progress. Like I am constantly trying to battle with how the hell do I find balance in my life because I didn't want to walk away.
I say this all the time. I'm like, I cannot find balance.
You can't.
I've been a bit better lately, and she is always
I am the balance queen. Yeah. I'm like, hang out on the weekends, but then hustle for like 6 hours. I don't know. I feel like it's just a mental state. Also, understanding that we're all dying and making sure you spend people that you like really, really love is like always key to me. Like I'm like that like is my like that's my top. Everything else that's happening has to just be below that. Because like
that's deep.
Well, like we're all dying, and like people are great, and I'm like people are like my favorite part of life. Like I love humans, so I'm like I'm just gonna make that my goal, like be around people I love.
And I am like in the same mindset, but like you said in the opposite way. I'm like, hey, whatever, if we're dying, if that's the thing we're going by, I'm like, hey, I'm young now, I have the energy now, I need to like do it all now while I have the spirit. So that's why I'm like 8 a.m. wake up, film this, I'm working, doing it all till like 10 p.m. till I go to bed, which I know is not healthy, but I take the same mindset, but I twist it in the opposite way.
Yeah,
I'm like dying, I'm young, I need to just do it all now.
Yeah,
I'm just like, but what if you go tomorrow, you're young and you're dead? What if I'd rather be young and say, oh, I like had this like amazing experience, like
I mean, I guess I see
you know what I mean.
saying.
Like it's just like, and that money you're not taking to the grave. Like I'm just saying, if we're going by like we're all dying, like what I always go by level of priority. So like, what is the number one thing?
But that's the thing. Maybe like the priority right now is like work. Which no one's saying good or bad or whatever. But I'm just like,
Yeah, I don't know.
Burnout is near. Burnout is very near.
I also think there's like,
it sneaks up on you.
No,
I'm curious, how do you balance now traveling? Because obviously you're back and forth like every weekend, basically.
Every week,
Every week, oh jeez.
Every week. Montreal Tuesday mornings and fly out Thursday evening.
Oh my god.
I mean, fortunately for anyone listening, if you're not sure, that's only about an hour-ish flight, but just travel in general in the airport becomes a big production. That's a huge commitment. How do you do that?
Talk Air Canada.
Yeah, we can.
Let's put them on blast.
Yeah, they've really screwed me. Do you fly Porter ever?
No, I have flight pass to Air Canada, but I was on, not this week, I think it was last week, I was on like 8 flights, and every single one of them
was horrible.
Was delayed, canceled, like sitting on the plane for 3 hours.
Toronto to Montreal, or also additional
I also
locations?
went to Miami on the weekend, and I sat on the plane for 3 hours. Like every single...
Oh, God.
What day are we today?
Wednesday.
Friday, I was supposed to be in the city. I was supposed to be in the city by 6:30. I didn't get in until 11 p.m. for an hour flight.
And then do you have to get up the next morning and work?
Yeah. Well, this was Friday.
Oh, okay, luckily. But still.
Yeah. So
I mean, WestJet's been doing me pretty good lately, really? So I mean, that's what I've been flying more recently.
You get points Air Canada,
and it's good. Oh, the points. See, I just use my American Express, so it just goes for all the points. I don't know. I'm not loyal to any airline. I will put that out there.
No, same. I will fly whatever's cheapest or most convenient.
I will fly whatever's cheapest, whatever times are the best. I'm not loyal.
I was like that too until the flight pass.
Yeah,
but you are on such a schedule.
Yeah, that's legit.
Sure.
Yes, but yeah, they have been challenging.
Wow.
And how do you keep your skin so clear despite all these flights? Airplanes kill me.
Yeah, the glamour of it all.
No, great skin, and I'm breaking out right now, so I can definitely appreciate it.
No, actually, when I first saw you this morning, I was...
It's like no, it's a painful one on my lip.
Oh, I have like 7 pimples right now.
It was from the MSG last night. I got a huge
This is what I'm saying.
Anyways, great skin.
I just had too much like gin over the weekend. That's why my skin is bad.
Gin life is a great life.
Yeah, it's true. Gin and Paris Hilton. I can't complain.
Okay. Just like,
I hate myself.
So we like to finish every episode with a game. It's called Roses and Thorns. Don't know if you've ever played it, but
it's a nice moment for gratitude and reflection. And we are in such busy lives, so it's nice to take a moment to reflect.
We do it every day.
Yeah.
It's our gratitude.
It's a daily
game.
thing. Typically, we do it at the end of the day. Obviously, we film in the morning. So from the past 24 hours, we can kind of reflect upon. So we do one thorn, which is one negative thing we want to get out of the way, which can be trivial, it can be a big thing, whatever, however deep you want to go, we're willing to go there. And then 2 roses, which are 2 positives from the last 24 hours, and then 1 rosebud, which is one thing you're looking forward to in the short term.
Okay,
so go. No,
I can kick it off.
Torri will kick it off. We'll lead you into it.
Okay, thorn would be that I have not unpacked from Banff or LA because I was only home for like 12 hours. So my home is just a mess, and I don't like ever returning home to a mess. Okay. And I went downstairs yesterday, and I was trying to avoid her, but my concierge saw me and she's like, Torri, you have so many packages, grab them. And I was like trying not to deal with it last night because it was like 11 p.m. And I was like, oh.
Did you just carry them all up in one trip, or
I
what
had
did
to
you do?
take a literal cart. There was 13 boxes. And then I had to bring all the boxes back down to recycle. We talk about sustainability. We talk about like the PR world.
Yeah.
I was like,
killing the planet.
And it's really the only job I have to say where like it is the expectation of like product management. Like I don't know how I've now become a product manager, but it's like, how do I manage all of this? One person can't use all of these products. I want to give back to the community. I just want to like give it to people that need it. And it's like the holiday season, and I'm just like,
is there something for that? Like a program?
No,
I just
let's start one. I don't know. I know we can donate, but
women's shelters, like
women's shelters is good, but it has to be sealed and like brand new. So like
you can't swatch anything.
Right.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's the thorn for the day. Rose is so happy, Alyssa, to have you on the pod. This was just such a treat. Nice. Yeah. No, I like have always really admired your career. I love the work you do. So it's just so nice to have you here on Poddy Talk. Another rose is, I'm checking out this like local jewelry brand right after this Jenny Bird. I've like heard such amazing things.
I love Jenny Bird.
So I'm going to meet their team and like really excited to like check out their showroom. So if you're in Toronto, check out Jenny Bird. I've heard great things.
At Jenny Bird.
And then a rose bud is, what is this weekend? I'm going to London, Ontario. Normally wouldn't be looking forward to it. It's where my boyfriend's family's from.
Everyone from London, Ontario
cries.
Just unsubscribed.
No. It's
like,
not that.
You, girls.
I'm such a city girl. Just like when you take me out of the city, I kind of like lose touch with myself, and I'm like not really into that vibe. But I'm looking forward to it because it's been like very like fast paced, and I spent too much time in like the LA scene, so I need to come back down to earth. So London will really bring me back down to earth. It's a humbling experience. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
I guess I will take it away next. A thorn. It's so trivial, but this stupid pimple, like it's actually painful that I can't.
Toothpaste.
And it's right by like my mouth.
So
just like dry it out. I was like sealing it with like salicylic acid, like trying to burn it out, but like it's just
Jesus.
It's a painful one. And then a rose is.
What did I say? MSG.
MSG. It must be the MSG.
It's so
actually,
disastrous.
So
I know.
Not just saying this because you're here, but these Call It Spring boots make me feel so powerful, especially when I pull them up over the knee. Which
pretty kick-ass.
Yeah, I actually, so Torri originally had them first, and I saw them, I go, I need those boots.
Really?
So then when we ordered the pair of boots to wear for this episode,
actually,
I was
you
like,
said it the second you saw me. You didn't even know where they were from.
I know,
Like,
I need those boots.
I need
They're
those
incredible.
Boots.
And then turns out they're vegan and amazing, so I love that. So yeah, I just feel like badass when I wear these, and I've actually gotten so many compliments whenever I wear these. People are like strangers, like you know when you're walking the street, a girl like randomly was like, "I love your boots," and like kept walking. I was like, "Oh my god, thanks." Like, you know, it's going like a stranger takes time out of their day, right? Another rose is, you know what? Speaking of balance, I am normally the queen of not having balance. The past few weeks, I feel like I've really gotten into a groove of like taking my weekends off and like trying to like not worry as much and just like, okay, it's like 6 o'clock, Jaclyn, you've been working all day, like maybe chill, or like, hey, if I'm out late at a taping or doing work late at night, like you can take an easier morning the next day.
Yeah.
I've been really conscious of that and like feeling okay about it, which is, I normally have guilt.
You have to.
Yeah.
You gotta just.
Thanks.
Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just not guilty. Maybe
I definitely carry like.
Take what I need when I need it.
Well, it's just
That's
also like.
That's a rare mindset.
Yeah.
I think
I don't know,
the
I've always been
problem
like that.
is that like I know my type of career, as much as I put into it, that's as much as I get out of it. So I'm like, why would I not be doing the most that I can be doing?
Yeah.
But the answer to that is because you will hate yourself. So I'm trying to be better about that.
Girl, take it from me.
Yeah.
Telling you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take your time.
No, it's been really
Also,
like
Headspace and CBD.
Yeah, I've heard
the Headspace app. I always get the ads for or Calm.
So good. I don't like Headspace is my preferred
Oh,
choice.
okay. I haven't actually used either.
You should try it. At first, I was like, "This is gonna be super woo woo. I'm not gonna do
Sure.
this."
And then you
Girl,
got into it.
Game changer. Love it.
Oh
I got
my
a lot of people into it. Headspace.
Stunning. Do you have a commission link because you were selling it?
Yeah, I
honestly
mean-
think
Use
I
code
should-
ALYSSA for 10% off.
Yeah. Do you want to know what I think I should have a commission link to?
What?
Headspace and Good Food Box.
Oh,
What's the
yes.
food? Is that like a?
It's like HelloFresh, right? Like you
But
order
better.
in. Oh, but better. Okay,
Oh.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
It is a game changer. I hate going to the grocery store. I hate figuring out what to eat. They send you everything before you used to have to chop it. Now they chop it for you.
Oh.
You can
I
make
need it chopped for me. That's
gluten-free.
See, I'm
amazing.
someone who likes
Gluten-free.
cooking. I'm team the Walmart Penguin Pickup, which we actually had them on as a sponsor, but I genuinely use this service. So I either get them
Same.
delivered to my house or I go to the pickup. And it is so cheap and so easy.
It's so cheap. Groceries are like $50 at Walmart. It's like ideal.
Walmart owns Penguin.
Sorry,
Yeah,
no,
Penguin
Walmart, they have a collaboration. So
I know
you
what
can,
Penguin is.
You can get your groceries
collab.
delivered to the Penguin pickups.
Oh.
Like full groceries, they're all packed for you. I just go and
just like
put
in a
them
bag,
my,
and then you're like, and it's like half the price of like a Metro, for example.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's my thing. But I love a good food delivery. But the thing is, HelloFresh doesn't do vegan. They only do vegetarian. So they always send like all
Maybe
these
Good
cheeses.
Food does vegan.
Yeah, do
Yeah.
they do vegan options?
That's a good question. As their like
I always feel so wasteful.
person, I should
Yeah.
know.
Is there not?
As an unofficial employee.
Guys, comment below.
Comment below.
Let us know.
How can I get free Good Food Box? I don't know. I know they do good vegetarian meals, but
okay.
vegan, I'm not sure.
Well, I always just will like sub out the cheese or whatever, but
Yeah.
like I always just feel wasteful. Like they sent me a
Iconic.
full like block of like brie. I'm like, don't have personal use for this. Anyways, I think I got distracted. A rosebud, something I'm looking forward to. We're actually doing a little Poddy photo shoot later today. We're doing kind of like a Mean Girls inspired shoot, so that will be very fun. We have some interesting outfits, and we're not sure how we're going to repurpose these photos or really what they're going to be for. But
We know it'll go to
something
use.
Poddy. Yeah.
It'll
Anyways,
go to
so that'll be our later afternoon.
Send me the photo.
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
let you
send you
know.
pics.
It's going to be a fun time.
I think we're wearing these boots in it. So
Yeah,
I
actually,
think-
yeah. They call it spring is going to get a feature.
Great. Love that. My thorn right now is wedding planning.
Yeah.
The stress.
The stress.
The
The
Monday.
The price tag is insane.
I can't believe
it.
it.
Makes me just want to run to City Hall and like
I know.
Yep.
call it a day.
Would you ever do that, or that's just not your style?
It's been like a serious contemplation.
Now it is.
You're like, now I'm ready to
I
do
saw
that.
that quote come in, and so we have a raccoon problem at our house.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my God, no, I've seen your Instagram stories. We needed to talk about
Yeah.
this.
Wait,
like
what's happening?
the raccoons are like at her window. I think I told you this, that I saw
I
her
need to
story and there was
show
like
you videos.
raccoons.
Wait, I need to see this.
But they're like too
Grab
close
your
to your
phone,
house.
grab your
Like,
phone.
it's not even
fine.
normal. Like,
You can move.
no,
yeah.
after.
I want to see the raccoons now, but
But no one will be able to see.
so are they like?
Okay, so
Tell me. I'm fascinated by raccoons.
I am too. They're cute, but I also hate them.
They're
Yeah.
just like the scavenger, like of like the world.
They are savage, but they are really smart. So we have like a balcony off of the bedroom. So
Okay.
they love this
Do
balcony.
you live in a house or like a townhouse or
It's
something on the
townhouse.
ground? Okay.
Yeah, it's a townhouse.
Like, are they climbing the windows of the
Yes.
condo? Like, how is the raccoon?
Like they climb there's like these, I don't even know how they get up. There's like these like banister things that,
Yeah.
that like support the balcony.
Sure.
They
Jeez.
climb up those, and then it's like wrought iron on the outside of the
Yeah.
so they can climb in and out of like, you know, the spaces in between the fence thingy.
Totally.
So the raccoons come every year. There's new families every year.
Jeez.
They sleep in the same corner.
Oh, they like
love the-
live up there. They're
Pretty
not just
much.
scavenging food or
No,
anything.
no.
Garbage.
Like they live there.
Pretty
They like kick things up. I had like a full bistro set and planter out there. They thought that was their toy. One time I
Stop.
walked out there, or like I
Wait,
walked
how
into.
big are raccoons? Are they?
They're huge.
Really?
Yes.
You need to
I'm,
see
like,
her
picturing,
stories.
like, a
It's
cute
like
little, like-
shocking. No, they're like up against the window
Just
looking
like
at
this.
her.
Like I'll tap on the window, and they're like,
They're like friends. It's weird.
we're kind of buddies. I feel
Yeah.
like they recognize us.
They're
'cause-
not even scared of you. They're like, yeah, here she is again.
No, but actually, they don't give any, like, they care not
Yeah.
at all. We'll knock on the window
They care
before
not
they
at
used
all.
to run, and now they're like, bitch, what? Like, they don't care.
That's so
At
funny.
all.
Wait, that is crazy.
It's crazy
So do they
also.
break your things?
Yeah, they
Yes.
do break our things. They try to scratch through the walls. They try to scratch through the screen. For the most part, actually, they're peaceful, except for they literally, like, roll around. One time I walked into the bedroom, and the raccoon was sitting like this, like, legs up like a human.
What?
With its little creepy thumbs on the table, like waiting to be served.
What?
What in God's name?
Oh my God.
Usually it gets up. They come they come like.
Is this daily?
No, daily.
Like any hour of
Wait,
the day
did you
or
know this
nighttime?
before you guys bought the house? Oh my God.
Yeah, this is Raccoon Prime Central Station.
Our neighbor has like a super soaker gun. I don't know. If I
No
said
way,
this,
it's-
but like just sprays them with water like harmlessly
Yeah.
because they don't go away. We have tried
Get the super
everything.
soaker.
Yes. It's really insane. And so Rishi, like, they really make the most ruckus at 4 or 5 in the morning.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
God.
it's
That's
loud.
their turn up,
Yeah.
man. Like, they have a great
Yeah,
time
they're
out
going.
there. And Rishi, like, always opens the door. He barks at them, and he, like,
Oh my
I'm like, I need to
God.
record that.
That's
so
hilarious.
funny.
It's not
Wait, do
okay.
raccoons make noise? Like, do
Yes.
they screech or like?
Well, they like bang around.
Yes.
Like they're so annoying.
Do they burble? Like, do they like make like a call? I don't.
Like, ish. Yeah. One time, there was a fight amongst the raccoon posses.
Shut up!
I swear, we didn't record this because we were in shock. It was like West Side Story raccoon
You were in
style.
shock.
It was like Animal Planet times 100.
Shut up.
Something happened with like one of the raccoon posses, and so they were fighting.
Live entertainment.
Dude, it was nuts. They were fighting on the fence, and then all of a sudden, like, I knew that there were like maybe 5 or 6
50
raccoons.
show up.
Actually, they start coming down from the trees.
Stop.
Like, I'm not lying to you, 25 and 30, like, coming down, and they all started, like, having their friends back and fighting each other. And then they ended up going their separate ways. I need to start chronicling this.
You do. This needs to be
Instagram highlight, the raccoons.
Yeah.
The raccoons. One time we went by the dump. I could, like, talk forever. We went
This
by the
is
dumpster,
fascinating.
And someone had, like, thrown out pizza, right?
Right.
This raccoon, I swear to God, was on its back like this, eating, like, pizza like this.
Oh.
Shut up.
And we were throwing
Getting
stuff
fans.
away, and he did not care that we were there. He was just like, "Why are you disturbing my pizza flow?" Like,
Whoa.
Stop.
if anyone knows
That's
how to
terrifying.
How to get rid of raccoons,
please comment.
Super
Because
soaker.
what is it like? Can you call like pest controller things
We
like
have.
that? Oh, they don't do
So
that.
you can trap them. They have
Aw,
a trap.
but then
and
it's
that's
sad,
and
yeah.
they're freaking out all night. You can hear them.
Oh, God.
It's really
Yeah,
not good.
that's not.
It's like we've tried everything. We've tried coyote urine. We have tried like strobe lights.
Oh,
we
jeez.
have tried.
They're
all
just
the
a part of your
things.
family.
Raccoons,
The lights. Wow, I'm surprised that wouldn't keep them
they
away.
don't care.
They don't care.
So unbothered.
They bite them. Like we've had them for 3 years in a row. Like they'll never go away.
So when's their prime season? Like, did they...
Summer.
Oh, okay.
But I'm surprised because it's been super icy over the last couple
They're
days.
still chilling.
They're still chilling.
So
They're
every
sitting
night?
up. They're sitting up on their desk.
Holy, that
Jeez,
is
do you wear
crazy.
earplugs to bed?
No.
Oh, you need to.
I know. I feel like we've almost just acclimated to our, like when they're not there for a few days.
You're a little
like,
worried?
Where are they?
Yeah.
Are they still
Wait,
alive?
so was that a rose or a thorn? I don't even know where that
Sorry.
came from.
I don't either. That was just like,
That was just a great story time.
I think it was a part of a thorn.
it was a part of a thorn. I don't know. We were talking about wedding planning. I don't know how we got
We got
into
to the raccoons.
the raccoons always
You're like,
come
weddings
up.
are expensive. Also, fuck the raccoons.
The raccoons are on some shit. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I don't remember. It's a rose and a thorn. The
Yeah.
A thorn is definitely wedding planning. It's expensive. What am I looking
Roses,
forward to?
rosebud.
Yeah, rosebud.
Which one's the rosebud?
What are you looking forward to?
Sorry. I was really looking forward to this, actually.
Yay!
I love you guys.
Aw.
Honestly, I remember when you asked me, I was like so honored.
Yes,
of
so
course.
glad
You
you
guys are
came.
just doing some pretty major stuff.
Aw.
Oh,
And
well-
so going back to like taking time to reflect, I hope you guys do that because like I at your age would never have imagined doing anything like this and like letting alone seeing it to fruition and making the
Aw.
impact that you guys have. Like it's pretty incredible.
Aw,
Thank you.
thanks.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Well,
That's why we play
likewise.
this game, so
Yeah.
that we're grateful every
We force
day.
ourselves. But no, likewise,
Yeah.
we were so excited to have you on because you have so many interesting, insights and just your career is fascinating. So
Thanks.
this is really fun.
Appreciate that. Yeah, this is a
And then
blast.
you'll have to come back in the new year because we're starting a new type of potty talk called Potty Talk After Dark.
This is pending. We need to work on
no,
this.
and
idea.
it's gonna be like cocktails and real talking shit.
Oh,
So
I love
This
it.
may be the demise of
this
our
is like
routine- or our
2020
careers.
goals. Potty Talk After Dark.
I support you on
Well,
that.
so-
I almost brought mimosas this morning,
Yeah,
and then I was
I'm
like,
like,
I would have.
I know.
You have so much engagement
I-
champagne. I would have brought
I
it.
know.
I text her. I go, "Do I need to bring my champagne?"
and then I was running late, and I was gonna pick up orange juice, and I was like, oh, I'm running late. Like,
Oh,
just
you
forget
should've
it.
told me.
We were gonna,
So Potty
bougie
Talk
it out
After
for
Dark.
you.
Stay tuned. We'll
Bougie
have
it
you
up for
back.
me.
Yeah.
So nice.
Yes.
Next time. The thought was there.
Well, thank you for tuning in to Potty Talk, the
podcast where we shit talk ourselves. I'm
Alyssa.
Jack. You messed up our outro. I'm Jack.
And I'm Tor.
And that
this
was
is
Alyssa. That was so much fun.
Thank you
Thanks so much for watching.
being here. We'll link all the Cold Spring shoes below so you can purchase them for yourself because they're vegan and fabulous.
Yeah,
So
this is a fun
And
episode.
hashtag this is not sponsored.
and
Yeah,
it's
not
not
even
sponsored.
sponsored.
This is just like
Genuine,
true love. This
yeah.
is just genuine love. Well, we will
Thanks,
see you
guys,
next
for
week.
watching.
Bye.
Bye.